The Tacoma is getting a little makeover. So as you can see here, we have the factory rear bumper pulled off, and we are going to be installing front, rear, and a winch for the front bumper as well. So let's take a look at where we are currently at with this. For those who are new here, this is our 24 Tacoma Tier D off-road long bed. As you can see here, we have a couple things done to it, like carbon fiber flares that are inch wider, 35-inch tires, RS 2 wheels. These are the monoforge, super light. We have a 2-inch lift in the rear, 1 1/4 lift in the front, roof rack, bed rack, tent. But today we have ripped off the rear bumper, and what we have left over is just the factory kind of frame hitch assembly back here. And then what we got going on, this is going to be the Rago Fabrication rear bumper that will replace the entire bumper and even the caps that come down here as well. On this table here are the factory caps. So it's kind of like a 3-piece assembly. We got the sides, wings, and then we have the middle piece, which is actually right over here. Let's take a look at it. So this here is the rear factory bumper. That's like the crash bar. And then this is the plastic piece with my plates still on there. So a couple pieces that kind of make up the rear bumper. In the front here, we have ripped off the front bumper section of this. We have installed the winch tray, and then we have a Super Winch 10K synthetic line installed on there currently. We also have the ADD flat link. This thing is pretty cool because it kind of nests in their fair lead, which really nobody else does. So that's pretty sweet. We have also installed some Baja designs for the fogs in the factory location. This is their new kit. So if you have a 24, these are pretty sweet. The only unfortunate thing about installing these is there's no easy way to do it. You have to pull off this whole bumper. And being that we have carbon fiber flares on here, basically it attaches to this with some screws and double-sided adhesive tape. So we're kind of cleaning off what we pulled off right now. We're gonna buff it and polish that back up before we put the factory or the carbon fiber flares back on it. But for those who haven't taken this bumper off before, you have to remove it kind of as a whole assembly. So from here all the way over, you have to take that all off as one piece. So it's kind of a pain in the ass, and there's really no way around it. This section here, if you have a factory bumper flare, that will come off just away from the vehicle, and then you can take this whole thing off as one. Obviously disconnect whatever you need to up here. And over here we have our Rago Fabrication low profile bumper. We have installed a 20-inch Baja Designs Onyx light bar in there. I like this low profile bumper because it goes from all the way from the bottom to the top, and it goes around like the factory fog lights. You'll see what I mean when I actually install this on the vehicle, but this is one of those that cover the entire thing, which I really like. There are those that is kind of a half bumper with a winch tray. So basically you would keep this section here, and then it would just install from here to here. So there'll be half plastic and then half metal bumper. All right, so we got the bumper done. As you can see here, it looks so good, especially with the Baja Designs in there and the ADD flat link. That's a pretty cool way of doing it. For those of you who haven't seen this before, it kind of nests in there. You see that? It's like a cavity that is perfectly made for that flat link. So We haven't pulled the winch line in yet, just because we just finished the install. But I mean, look at this fitment. Ready? So this line right up here, that's the plastic piece. Well, it doesn't really move, but this is the bumper. So it follows that, comes down. Let me brighten this up a little bit. Like that is perfect. And then the sensors in the same spot, so nothing's affected for your TSS. And then over here, plastic line, bumper. Look at that. That's perfect. And then there's a tiny gap on the side here. So this is where, stop trying to focus. So this is where the part that you have to cut for the plastic piece that's behind the bumper. So that's kind of why you see a little bit of white from the factory bumper, and then right here is where you have to cut all the way across. So from here on down, there's really nothing there, so it's just a perfectly even gap all the way down. And their attention to detail on this bumper is spot on. And then the bumper is braced as well. So before there's the bumper is attached as one unit. Now, let me see if I can get it here. That bolt right there, that ties into a bracket that Rego provides, and it really just ties it together. So there's like no movement at all in the bumper, which is really nice, because normally companies don't do that part, and they forget, and the bumper is just flappy, and then it just smacks the low pro bumper. So the fact that Rego did that is very nice. Here's kind of like a top-down view of it. Here's a side profile view of it for those who are going to be looking into this bumper. So it sticks out just a tiny bit from where the factory bumper is, and then the shackle is the furthest point, just because that's going to be where you're going to be recovering from. But I like that it's up there instead of down here. A lot of companies put their receiver or their shackle attachment point down here, which is going to just get caught on rocks and stuff like that. So I like that Rego put it all the way up there to prevent it from dragging against rocks and other things. So very, very good. Very well thought out product for sure. So now that we got the front done, let's go take a look at the back. So we got the rear bumper on. It is a different day now, and we got some different things on the truck. We added a Retrex bed cover and the bed rack for that, and then a tent as well. We'll do a whole separate video on that setup, but let's take a look at the bumper. So the Rego bumper follows this body line just like the factory bumper does, and you can see right here we have the blind spot and cross traffic sensors still there, so none of those functions are going to be affected once everything's installed. We got the backup sensors as well back in there and right there as well, along with the other side. And then you also have a spot for some S2 rear lights if you wanted to do that. We did the amber lights there. And then there's also a spot for the trailer 7-pin and whatnot there. And then we have the license plate lights as well. So overall, this bumper fits extremely well, looks really good as well. And then right here is our gapping right between the tail light. There is some adjustment to go up or down if you wanted that gap to be bigger. So like if you were afraid you're gonna hit that too hard and go into the tail light, you can drop that down just a little bit. But here's like a nice profile of the bumper, so you can see that fits really good. So we're really happy with the quality of the Rego front and rear bumper. So we'll have everything down in the description, so if you want to check that out, you can. All right, guys, that is going to be it for this video. Overall, we are super happy with the quality of the Rago Fabrication bumper, both the front and rear bumper. It looks so good. We're gonna have a lot more coming to show you guys with some trail videos and see how they actually perform on the trail. So we'll show you guys that once we get this thing back on the trail, and show some other products and accessories we've thrown on this as well. If you want to check that video, we'll have it on our channel. So if you are not subscribed already, please do so, and we'll see you guys in a later video.